What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to talk about the do's and the don'ts about living in Arizona. Let's get it. All right, so let's get into the first do. This is what I'm going to say. Do have fun. What I mean by that is get out there and live an outdoor, active lifestyle. That's how you stay mentally healthy, exciting, and happy overall when you live in Arizona. Getting up to the high country. In the winter, you can do skiing. In the summer in the high country, you do hiking, camping, outdoor activities around the lakes, like renting a kayak. That's how you stay happy and positive out here in Arizona. You don't necessarily have to do only outdoor activities, but doing outdoor activities is one way to get in nature and keep your serotonin levels up. So I highly recommend that. So with that being said, do off-road. So off-roading is one thing that you're going to want to get into to really get out there in the boondocks or in the wild blue yonder and explore the desert and the forest high country around Arizona. You can have a friend who has an off-road vehicle, or you can rent a Jeep just for the weekend. But getting into the off-road lifestyle, going down to the dunes, Glamis, wherever you need to go, that's what's going to really be something you're going to want to do when you get out to Arizona, off-roading. All right, here's one for you. Do try the local cuisines. There's so many different local cuisines that you guys can try when you come out here. Lots of Mexican cuisine, lots of Native American cuisines, and even traditional cuisines from across the world that actually set up restaurants here. You'll have Lebanese food, you'll have all types of different variety, but do try the local cuisine and some of the other restaurants, because when you support the local restaurants, that keeps them in business and keeps the vibe out here exciting and electric across Arizona. Yeah, so whether you live here now or you're getting ready to move here, do become a local sports team. It's a way to show that you want to connect with the community. If you come here and you say, oh, I'm a Cubs fan for life, there's no way I'm ever going to support the D-backs, even though the D-backs might make the playoffs and the Cubs won't. What I'm saying is try to support the local sports teams, the Suns, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, the Coyotes, the Wildcats, even the Sun Devils. You know, whoever you got to support out here, but that shows that you're a team player willing to get on board with the local community and support the cause of Phoenix and Arizona, all the way down to Tucson. We even have the NAU Lumberjacks. Grand Canyon State has a squad. So when you support the local teams, that shows that you really care and you want to be a part of the Arizona community. Here's another thing. Do some camping, for real. Get out there and camp. There's a lot of different places that you can go. I can rattle them off right now. I mean, it could be a whole nother video. Let me know if you want a full dedicated camping in Arizona video. You have Patagonia in the south. You have countless lakes that you can camp at. Everything from Apache Lake to Canyon Lake, Saguaro Lake, Roosevelt Lake, Bartlett Lake. Lots of campgrounds, Pleasant. So many different places up in northern Arizona, from Flagstaff, national parks, state parks. Really, get out there and do some camping, especially the Mogollon Rim. I think if you do that, you'll enjoy it. I know I've said this before on many other videos, but do make sure to stay hydrated. One of the things that I like to do is go on Amazon and order some electrolyte packages because I don't think the water out here, just when you're drinking bottled water, has enough electrolytes and hydration in it to keep you fully hydrated. That's why you'll get dry lips, dry skin, whatever the case may be. I don't know what your problems may be, maybe headaches from not enough water, but getting that hydration is really important, or just get it the natural way from cucumbers, from watermelons, cantaloupes. Who knows how you can do it, but staying hydrated out here is something you will need to do. Do familiarize yourself with the indigenous peoples of Arizona. Arizona is a state that has a lot of Native American reservation land. We have the Herd Museum, and we have a rich tradition and history with the Native American Indians that used to live here and still do live here. But their history is something you'll want to familiarize yourself with, because that can help you get in touch with some of the local cuisines, some of the local traditions, and just understand more about the land that you're living in out here in the Sonora Desert. So here's something I would suggest for those of you who live here and are considering moving here. Do your research. Obviously, watching this channel and watching these videos is a form of research, but there's a lot more research that can go into this process. What I mean by doing your research, do some research on the history, but also do some research on the areas, because where you choose to live is going to basically dictate your happiness, your quality of life. And so if you just move here from, say, Illinois, and you move to a town that doesn't fit your desires or your needs and is really far out there, that can also affect your state of mind, your mood, and how you ultimately feel about Arizona. So make sure you do the research when you're here and after you're here. Now we're going to move on to the things that you don't want to do or should not do when you come out here, the don'ts, right? Let's get into those right now. So here's one for you. Don't forget to get a gas-friendly vehicle, or maybe even an electric car, because when you come out here, there's a lot of driving that you're going to be doing. And so you don't want to be stuck in traffic in a gas guzzler going all the way across town for 45 minutes and then with gas prices rising. So I would say don't forget to keep that in mind when you're coming out here. Gas-friendly vehicle, whether it's an SUV or whatnot. I will tell you, the perfect car that I would say for out here in Arizona, this is the one, and this is not a sponsorship or anything. It was a Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk. So it's small enough to be like a hybrid, but it's strong. It's also strong enough to go off-road in some capacity. Obviously, you can't be going too far off-road in something that small, but it's like a hybrid vehicle, and I found it to be really good for dirt roads and for highways. There's several other SUVs that are really good, but a small sedan, only good for highways. If you want to go onto a dirt road, which you may do at some point, you may find that to be inconvenient. So do pay attention to that, but don't get yourself in a position where you have a gas guzzler. All right, guys, don't forget sun protection when you get out here to Arizona. Just as I mentioned, with the hydration, you're going to have issues with the sun. So you getting some sort of gator that protects your face in the summer, or having some sort of lotion or cream. This goes for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a white guy like me or if you're someone who has a lot of tan to you. Out here in Arizona, that sun is dry, it's strong, and it will get anyone out here. So do not take it lightly. So having some sort of sun protection. That's why you'll see the guys out there working out on the job sites. Doesn't matter if they're from Mexico or if they're from Seattle or Alaska, wherever they're coming from, they're all wearing some sort of sun protection clothing typically. So that would be lightweight clothing. I would recommend considering something like that if you're coming out here. Here's something for you. Don't get too close to the cactuses, especially a cholla cactus. Obviously, if you see a saguaro, you might want to touch it and just see how it feels. Now, don't destroy a saguaro because that's actually against the law. It's a protected species. But what happens is people get around these cactuses. They'll go walking around the desert. They might get off the trail. They don't realize that there's a cactus out there called the cholla. And I'm not talking about the cactus that'll just, pierce right through your shoe or your flip-flop into your foot. I'm talking about something that is a jumping cholla that will leap up onto you in a way. It feels like it because once you get one of those in you, it's like a sticky cactus. It's like one of those fuzzy things. You ever get a fuzzy on you? It's like a fuzzy cactus. It just keeps sticking to you like that. So don't get too close to cholla cactuses or any cactus in general. And don't forget to respect the cactuses because they will get you. Let's get back to talking about being on the road because you're going to spend a lot of time on the road. Don't forget the rules of the road. In particular, pedestrians out here in Arizona have the right-of-way. So there's not a lot of people walking around Arizona because it's really spread out, and in the major metropolitan areas like Tucson and Phoenix, you're not going to see too many people out there in the summertime trying to walk around. But there are some times of the year in Scottsdale, in downtown, during a sporting event, etc., where you're going to see a lot of people on the road walking around. And that's a good thing, right? Because they're on foot traffic, not automobile traffic. But you still have to remember, pedestrians have the right of way, so don't forget that. Oh, and here's another thing about traffic. Don't run red lights and don't speed out here because they have traffic cameras that will catch you. Even though you didn't get caught in the moment, you go to your mailbox, you check your mailbox, you get this really annoying bill in there or this ticket in there that says that you need to appear in court or you need to pay some sort of fine or go to traffic school for running a red light or for speeding in areas where they have photo radar or photo traffic lights. This is something I recommend you pay attention to because you'll see them up there at the top of the traffic lights. Sometimes you'll even see the flash. That means they got you. They got your face and they got your plate. So just pay attention to that. Here's one that really sticks down here in the desert areas, and it can also apply in the high country. Don't leave things in the car unattended, especially your kids or your pets. Every single summer, it seems like someone leaves their pet or their kid in the car and they forget about them. We've heard it happen several times where someone leaves their kid in the car seat while they just went inside to pick something up from their friend. They overstay their visit, come back out to the car two hours later or an hour later, and they forgot they had their kid in the car. I know you're saying to yourself, how does this happen? Well, people, it slips their mind because they're not practicing this general rule of thumb. When it's hot outside, don't leave anything in the car. Don't even think that it's okay to roll down the windows and do that. So that's something that's really important to take note of. Here's one. Don't get lost hiking. I know it sounds self-explanatory, and I don't think any of you guys are saying, well, geez, Jeff, I can't wait to get lost when I go camping. Of course not. But what happens is people, they go hiking into an area that they've never been. They go really far in there. They don't take into consideration that they should have their cell phone, or that their cell phone may not even have service to get them out of wherever it is, whether it be hiking in the McDowell Mountains, or hiking South Mountain Park, or hiking somewhere really far away in the forest, maybe the Mogollon Rim, because it's really easy to get lost in a forest, isn't it? It's easy to get turned around, not know which way north, south, and east is. So maybe some things that you can do. Obviously, first thing is bring a cell phone with you, hoping that it always has connectivity. Also, bring a paper map, even a small one, of the area, and a compass so you know which direction you're going. So when you go on these hikes, do consider that anything is possible. This is something I talk about pretty new right here, right now. So you haven't probably heard me touch on this, but I've noticed it in particular in Scottsdale and across Phoenix. A lot of people are transients here. So don't forget that most people are coming from somewhere else when they come here. You'll have people trying to blend in Scottsdale that are from Minnesota, from Seattle, from Canada, from all over the United States and even across the world. And they all kind of come together in Scottsdale, and they all are different cultures and different personalities from across different states and subregions across America. And so I would say don't forget that that's why things seem a little bit quirky at first or goofy, is because everyone's from somewhere else. So don't forget, it's a transient city at the end of the day. Or a transient state, since this encompasses most of Arizona as well. All right, guys, that's going to conclude this episode of the Do's and Don'ts from around Arizona. If I forgot something, drop a comment below throwing out something that I may have forgotten about, a do or a don't do when you get here. Thanks to everyone who's been subscribing and watching these videos. Watch some of these other ones from across Arizona, and we will see you on the next one. See ya.